So you come over here. Did you pick to come to New York?
Yeah, because it's the Mecca. Like New York's the Mecca of hip hop. If you're gonna try and make it,
That's true.
And I came over with an artist back in the day. Like same thing. Like I was ahead of my time. I thought like, okay, I was trying to break the UK. Shout out to the man in the UK. I was trying to break the UK hip hop here early.
Yeah.
2008, 2009, but I was way ahead of my time.
So you just booked a ticket? Like, yo, fuck it, let me try.
So the year before that, 2007, was probably how, thank God, like you said, the system's different now with Trump. But 2007, I was flying back and forth doing the whole 3 months here. And then the last time I came in 2007, before 2008, or it was in 2008, they told me, hey, what are you doing here? They pulled me in a room, put me in a room, this, that. It was kind of so intimidating. The desk is high. You were looking.
That was Barack who did that to you back then. I ain't gonna lie.
Yo,
come over here. Come over here, bruv.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a couple questions.
You're looking up at the desk and you're seeing like the TSA or whoever it was, the police guy was telling me. Then they went through my records and said to me,
"You've been here a lot."
Yes, they said you've been here a lot. Do you know you've only been home? You've only been in your country for 90 days of the whole year. Wow. That's when I said, "Wow, I must really like this place." I didn't even notice that I was only home for like 90 days. And
were they trying to scare you?
Yeah, they was. They told me that. Basically, it was after that I had to make the decision to move here. So in 2008, I moved here. Moved to Brooklyn first, bro. Yeah, my family, I have like some cousins and stuff in Brooklyn. And moved to Brooklyn, I was like, what the hell am I doing here? Not like that, but I was doing the same things I could have been doing at home. I'm like, I didn't move here for this. Man, them gambling, go on, playing dominoes in the park and all that on the block. I'm like, no. This is not what I moved here for. I didn't leave England's blocks, the blocks in Brixton, to come to Brooklyn and be in the blocks.
And by the way, there is always a lot of immigrant, like, and again, I'm speaking of people who have had that experience. I was born in Jamaica, and I remember I was so, like, you know, our family was gassed up on the United States.
Correct.
When we first moved over here, the first apartment we lived in was worse than the house we lived in Jamaica. We're like, hold on, I thought this was an upgrade, right? So you're going through that in Brooklyn, right?
Yes, so I'm going through that, and then I'm like, okay, I need to get it together. Then I started going Manhattan, started linking, going out, partying, this, that, just on the scene. And then I bumped into French Montana. And
whatever happened to the artist you were with?
Good question. So me and him, he was going back and forth to London and coming back. And I told him that if you don't stay here, it's not going to work. Americans, you can't just go to America and think you're going to take from Americans. There's Americans, you have to live the American dream. You have to hustle with them. They have to see you going through the struggle, they see you going through the grind too. You can't just move and go back and move and go back and think, I'm going to take a piece of the apple. Doesn't work like that. So he kept going forward and coming back. But at that time, I was still in New York. And then I started working with French Montana. This was Cocaine City days. You remember Cocaine City?
Yeah, of course. Legendary.
Smack DVD, of Cocaine City, blah, blah, blah. I started working with French then. And I just saw a lot of talent in him. I was thinking, I saw a hustle. Obviously, he had talent, but I saw his hustle was on another level. And you could say that, like, I picked up the game from being around him and Max B. Shout out to Max B.
How did it, or why did they accept you around?
It's crazy because I make jokes with his security now. Today, I was like, bro, you remember when I used to come and knock the door? They're like, oh, what does this guy want?
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I went from, what does this guy want, to like, yo, where's Dre London? You know what I'm saying? So...
And it kind of is that a lot of times in this industry where, like, you're kind of like this person who's always around, and you to some you might be annoying, like, this motherfucker. He shows up all the time. He's always here.
Yep.
You know. But then eventually, shit changes.
Yeah. I used to be. Listen, it doesn't matter who you are. Everyone has to find a position. I even used to be the guy that would go to the store, get the liquor, and do this, and make sure that the artists had what they needed. Like, there's a level to this. Like. Everyone's got to start somewhere, and I was just the guy, the fixer, if that makes sense. I was the fixer, fixing whatever I could, fitting where you could, until you become more and more valuable. You know what I'm saying? And then I introduced him to the producer Harry Fraud, and he didn't even want to work with him in the beginning. It's kind of crazy. It took me some months to get him to go to the studio and start working with him, and then that's when I saw the light, if that makes sense. Like, because there's records that he made that I was there for, that I put together with him, and I saw Funk Flex start playing it. Like he started breaking radio. Before I was around French, he wasn't on the radio. So he started breaking the radio, Shot Caller, New York Minute with him and Jada Kiss, this, that. And that was really like my entrance into the game. I'd always been around it, but that was like, wow, okay, you put these records together and now they're on the radio.
Yeah.
But I also learned my big lessons from that too, because I didn't get paid. Yeah. I learned what not to do in the future pretty early.
So you were kind of like assistant, and this happens a lot. You're
assistant, but
no, not necessarily assistant, but like you're assistant
yes.
in records coming together, but it's like in a non-official capacity where you could demand like, okay, so I'm owed this,
correct.
Right? So it's like
correct.
You're helping things go along,
correct.
No matter what it is. You might even be at one point doing something what an A&R would be doing, or at one point you're doing something where like you're actually making things happen or cutting deals, and there's no pay for you at that time because there's no name value, and not necessarily no one's really asking you to do it, but you are bringing value, but you don't know how to monetize it yet.
Correct. I didn't know how to monetize it. I didn't know how to put my foot down. I was like, all right. After that happened, some years passed. Like I said, I was around the whole him and Max B era. I remember when they first met. I was there. Like,
really?
Yeah, bro. I remember.
You was in the trenches. We used to think of them niggas as hood niggas, man.
Oh, yeah. I was in the trenches, bro. Uptown, Harlem, El Barrio, like from Spanish Harlem to the other side of Harlem. Like I was really in the trenches. And then on the block in Bronx, like I remember my artist got arrested for peeing on the street in the Bronx. And there was a lot of shit that I seen on the streets in New York. Around French Montana, bro. Saw a lot.
Listen, you know what's so funny? These days I look at French and I think about how far we've all came.
Yes.
I see French with like the daughter of like a sheik. And I'm like, yo, do niggas remember Cocaine City French? Yo, him and the Coke Boys was running around causing hell.
Yes.
Yo, I was in college. There was a club that they came to in New Jersey. And I ain't gonna lie to you. By the time they got in the club, he never even touched the mic. The club was going upside down. It was this shit was going left. But that was the Coke Boys there was a reputation for them too.
Yes.
And there was a grittiness with that. I'm surprised. So you was in the mix with all that shit.
Yeah, I was in the mix with all of them, man. Shout out to Kai City. Shout out to Bang. Like I was around all of them.
So you learned some lessons from that.
I learned the trade of, because I was watching what he did with the DVD game. Like I was going with him to distro. He was picking up cash. Remember seeing, like, I'll never forget this. I remember seeing a map, like, you know, the map of America, and seeing the pins in the map.
Yeah.
For what state they were selling and what they was doing. And I was like, wow.
That was actually real distribution.
Yeah,
back then, right?
I was like, wow, this is real. Then I remember going to the first show in, like, Connecticut and Boston and doing that run. And that's when I was like, oh, shit, this shit is actually a thing. It's, like, actually crazy.
What were you attracted to at that point? Because you said you came over here with an artist, but so it looked like maybe you had an idea of management, but
yeah,
you didn't exactly like say I'm a manager.
Correct.
You were just saying whatever this looks like, I'm going to help it go forward, and then you figured it out. Right?
I said, you know what? I'm leaving England to go to America and be one of the biggest in the game. I remember when I first got here, I had this little notebook, and in the notebook, I had the names of all the people that I wanted to meet. Your Steve Stouts, your Ty, your this, your that. I had a whole long list with your Leo Coins, your this, your that. And it's so crazy because when I fast forward that list, I never ever actually marked it off. By the time things got crazy and I blew up, all these guys I knew them.
Yeah, so during your phone as your contacts.
In my phone book, it was crazy.